What is that, kings, queens, and everybody in between? It's your boy, Mr. Frosty Combo, aka Just MFC. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well, because kings, queens, we got gaming royalty to my left. Oh, we got the God. We got the Kingslayer. We got the Beast Incarnate himself. Matter of fact, just give him every championship in the book, because he is Subtle Fraudulence, a name that only usurps itself because he's the realest man in the room, folks. Subtle Fraudulence, nice to see you. It's been like 3 weeks, brother. How are you? You're doing good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you know, I'm existing right now. You know,
just existing, look, just in the existing phase. I understand.
Look, every day I open this website called Twitter.com, right? And I see the most brain rottiest things ever, and I'm just like, why did I come here, man? Why did I come here? So
you will admit they are in fact not cooking over there on the Twitter.com. You will admit that
they are in fact not cooking over there, and it's falling apart. Crazy.
That's what's insane to me, because I don't know if you have had the same problem. It perplexes me. I just want to know why my when the For You section was taken over by people I didn't follow. Sure, I complained, I protested, but you know, I still had my following section, because at least when in the following section, it was people that I follow. Now the dam is broken, and now I'm seeing people I ain't never heard of, never seen. I'm over here watching a regular video, and I see people not even following these people. No follow, no like, no retweet from any of the people. Like, it's never even touched the base of people that I would shake hands with. And it's just out there. Now we
know what's crazy?
What's that?
When you go to that tweet and you say, you know, I don't want to see this, or I don't want to see this tweet or whatever.
Doesn't do anything, brother.
Nah, you know what it says? It's like, oh, hey, you want to see less tweets from such and such that you follow, that such and such you follow liked? And I'm like,
nobody liked it.
Did you fire the guy who puts up the part that says this person liked it?
See, that's what I'm saying. Because here's the other thing that I don't understand. That is how I found that puppy girl thing, where like some dude is walking a girl and then another girl is barking at him. Nobody liked it. No one interacted with it on my entire following sheet, but I've seen it up there 2 or 3 times now in the past week, and I'm just like, what are we doing, bro? Then I'm seeing people giving me like the Andrew Tate TikTok videos with all the TikTok ding ding ding, and what you gotta, like, you know, trying to make those TikTok saucy edits. Because, like, let's be honest, every saucy edit has the same 3 or 4 background tracks.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how these things keep popping on my feed.
All of that, man. It's insane.
Some of them are even cut and edited the same. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's probably made by the same person. It's not. Now, granted, I understand that TikTok is a place where people just steal each other's content, and that's just the name of the game. But it's getting a little ridiculous and heavy-handed at this point. It's getting downright silly, if you ask me. But I suppose that is it is what it is, nation. However, first order of a business today on our behalf is, where have we been? What has happened? Well, folks, if you ever looked over yonder and looked at a much bigger and more prominent YouTube channel like LinusTechTips, you will see that all of a sudden their YouTube channels were taken. They were absolutely wrangled away overnight while they were sleeping and laying their heads down thinking about the content that they could bring you today. Somebody was uploading Elon Musk support videos and cryptocurrency videos and how to scam and how to download illegal torrents and things of that nature all over their channel. Some going as far as to take the channel, slap a Tesla logo on there and say, let's go Tesla. The stocks are up, baby. And look, if this can happen to a, let's be honest, YouTube conglomerate like LinusTechTips and the Linus Media Group, on not just 1, but 2 of their channels, I think it's safe to assume that it can happen to anybody. Any young suspecting brother with a YouTube channel, and it happened to me. So for those of you who don't know, both the Fiction Is Not Real channel, the Clout.WAV channel, and the Kaisereth channel have both been googod. Even the Mr. Frosty Combo channel was also googod, because apparently everything that I was signed into got googod all at once. Don't worry, I went through the proper channels in order to stop it. I stifled it. I nipped it in the bud within 2 hours of the breach happening. because I just so happened to be up at late at ass o'clock at night. Luckily, I had people on Discord who just started spam calling me saying, yo, your channel's on fire. It's going down. We need you to do something. And I was able to handle it. Didn't get much sleep that night, but I fixed it. I reached out to YouTube. YouTube said, fill out these forms. We'll figure something out. As of right now, the Fiction is Not Real channel, the Kaiser channel, and the Clout.WAV channel, all three of those channels are still up, but I do not have the authority to log into them. It says I have been suspended out of my use of the YouTube service and platform, but I can still access the emails. I can still access the Google Plus. I can still access everything behind the scenes, except for anything that is related to the YouTube account specifically, which sucks. Still looking into it, but that, you know, YouTube, if I'm not Linus Media Group level famous, then they're not going to go to the nth degree to help out your boys on our endeavors. So if you're wondering why there is this new YouTube channel for specifically Clout.WAV content, that is why. I hope that answered your questions on where we've been. I just had to get that window dressing and everything out because, let's be honest, if it happened to Linus, who can it not happen to? Let's just keep it a whole buck. Now, that being said, will YouTube do anything to strengthen and beef up security around here? Will YouTube go the extra mile to make sure that their creators' channels aren't just going up in smoke at 2 a.m. at ass o'clock in the morning? Will these be things that happen? Probably not. Because I still believe, to this day, the video I uploaded 4.5 years ago about how to steal somebody's custom URL, even though they already have a custom URL to their channel, is still applicable, and you could still do that exploit to this day. So you may be saying, oh man, what do you mean by steal a custom URL? So I used to have a YouTube channel that was called Black Prion and another one that was called Ninja Bread God, both for fighting game related videos. If you were to type in youtube.com/blackprion or youtube.com/Ninja Bread God, after I had made the video showcasing the exploit and showing that this is an exploit that people can do, I should have known that with a smoking gun and a breadcrumb of evidence, somebody would do it to me. If you type in youtube.com/blackprion or youtube.com/ninjabreadgod, they're both going to redirect to some dude named Eric Amandarel's channel who has no videos, no content to speak of whatsoever. He just did it to be a total dick. But I've talked enough at this juncture, I believe. Mr. Fraudulence, is there anything that you would like to expound upon here in your experience on the internet and seeing how it's multiple channels for multiple content creators, not just me, who are being victimized and taken advantage of in various ways?
LinusTechTips is one of YouTube's biggest creators who makes them probably like top 10, top 20 when it comes to the amount of money like people make for them. So since Linus is being affected and he has a wide enough reach to like tell enough people to get them pissed at YouTube for this, for like allowing this to continue, YouTube is very likely to do something about it. Plus, on top of that, I mean, the man was also he was relevant, like he was in the zeitgeist recently because of the whole R word thing,
yeah,
the whole like with the R version. Is that what he was? That the wording that he used?
Look, I have never heard in the history, to be honest, the history of verbiage, for anyone to think that the phrase the hard R refers to anything but the N-word. It blew my mind to think that somebody could think that the hard R could stand for anything else.
Let me tell you why it's all connected.
Oh boy, here we go.
The headassery that I saw earlier today on twitter.com was about this subject, and it was about people who specifically were like, I mean, obviously he was talking about the word, this ableist, right? What other R word is there that he could have been referencing? There were multiple people who were saying this. They're like, yeah, I have no idea what this other R word would have been that he's referencing. And then people had to come out and say the N word. It's the N word that people thought that he was saying. That's the R word. That's the hard R word that people would think when they hear the phrase hard R. Nobody says hard R about the ableist slur. No.
Like, I have never heard that. Now, maybe they do things differently up there in Canada. All right, like I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But I definitely seen a lot of people in America who are also of the same mindset of, I've never heard of the hard R. And if that's the case, I may be wrong. Maybe this is a bit too presumptuous on my behalf. And if that's the case, I apologize in advance. But what that communicates to me is, Mr. Fraudulence, hold up your arm. Just hold your arm to the camera. Just get it right in the lens. What it tells me is people who have these shades of skin color are not people who compile the majority or even a sizable fraction of your friends list. I'm not saying that you just got a bunch of Mayo Crusaders out there. All right? I'm not saying that, because you could be diverse in other ways.
But
the bronze, the skin of bronze. I just think that part is lacking. All right, might want to figure some things out.
One of those people. The one that surprised me the most was Brianna Wu, who said, and I quote, that she runs in very leftist circles.
Okay, so I did see that, and I want to say this the same Brianna. This the same one who had a whole campaign of black people saying, "Hey, yo, you don't speak for us. I don't think you don't understand what you think you understand, and you don't speak for us, and you don't need to feel offended for us." And she started blocking them. That Brianna Wu? Yeah. Hey. Work on your political campaign a little bit stronger. Then maybe we'll have something to talk about. But until that point in time, no. I'm gonna just need that person, that individual, to stop talking. Especially on issues that concern the old. Let me tap the skin a few times if you understand. That's one of those things where it's like, how? I know you know. I know you know, because you were in the epicenter of one of the biggest hive minds of incels that we saw ever on Twitter. And we know for a fact that you have seen plenty of slurs in your day. Now, no one deserves to be called those slurs, but come on, bro. We know. It's okay to admit you've seen some slurs. Now, you gonna tell me, especially if you live in America, that you thought the hard R was that word? That tells me there must be like a multiple different Americas, because I don't know where you live in. Maybe you next door neighbors to SpongeBob. Maybe you living under the same rock as Patrick Star. Because there is no shot that you honestly, genuinely believe that. But once again, I digress. Maybe I'm being too presumptuous with my action here. But I don't see it. I really, truthfully, and honestly do not see how people could come to that conclusion and then try to act like they're defending the use of the word because it's not the hard R they thought it was, because they're both bad. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overestimating to which degree people actually go outside and have actual conversations with human beings, and human beings who oftentimes might look a little bit different than what they see in the mirror on a day-to-day basis. Maybe that's by mistake.
I went outside today, and
did you rather?
I have this to say. All right, I was in a supermarket, and I was looking for something, and like
as you do in a supermarket.
Yeah, to my right there was a woman who was like standing there and like looking at something, and like this guy, He was a little shorter than like your average guy, whatever. He had some facial hair, semi-long hair, like down to like maybe closer to his shoulders. Well, definitely like, down to his chin, whatever. He walks by this woman and he says, "Excuse me, beautiful." And then he, walks away because he was trying to get her to move so he could get to that aisle.
Right.
And the woman just, looks over at him and is just like, "Oh, well, thank you." And that was the end of the interaction. And it was, it was so interesting to me hearing this, because I was like, did he say that? And he just walked away. And, she didn't go crazy. She didn't, how dare you, say that to me? None of that. She was just like, oh, thank you. And then they both went their way. And I was like, wow, what a interesting moment.
Look, it's as I've said plenty of times on this podcast and even in my own videos and my own content, stop using online as the litmus test for human interaction, okay? Because the people you see on the Twitter, hell, even the Twitch, the YouTube, those people are living in some very curated circles to the point to where they don't have to act normal. They can act like a chimpanzee. They can act like a zebra whose like tail is cut off and they're just flailing around in the middle of New York because they escaped the zoo. These are people who do not have to act like genuine human beings because it's just text. They could throw a funny they could say some outlandish, crazy, asinine nonsense, some dribble drabble, parse their internet with their keyboard strokes, but then put like a Mob Psycho 100 gif underneath it and people will just overlook it because, they're a weeb just like me. How relatable. And people will just rock with that. But that's not how that works in real life, because a lot of times in real life, there's these things called consequences. And boy, something about online lacking those consequences really leads to people not feeling as though there's enough deterrence to stop them from their stupid actions. Because if deterrence were to start popping up, people would all of a sudden just start smartening up. They wouldn't be dumb 24/7, 365. But we don't live in that world where there are deterrents for posting nonsense on Twitter. There are people who will post that they hate black people. They think black people should be locked up behind bars. And they think that black people should be an endangered species and wiped off the planet. Meanwhile, the person who's posting that is black. But they'll have a lot of people saying, "Now, right on there, brother. That's right. Yeah, you're one of the good ones." And this is the interactions that they're curating on their timeline. And you think this is an everyday thing that you're going to see? Like you're going to go to the supermarket and you're just going to go white power. You're going to get 4 black dudes in the milk aisle. White power. I only drink white milk. That really? You can't use that. You can't use these internet circles as a litmus test for the nonsense. It does not reflect reality in any way at all. Never has. Never will. Because let's be honest, especially if you're on Twitter, I want you to look at how often and how frequent you find members of the trans community who are actually, trans. Pre-op, post-op, doesn't matter. And I want you to go outside to a supermarket and see if you run into trans people every time you go to the supermarket. Because I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar you've probably gone shopping for the past 2 years. You don't even know if you've ever interacted with a trans person at all whatsoever. You probably don't even know. You've probably been checked out by one. And I don't mean like, sexually, damn, you looking kind of good. You look kind of extra crisper now. No, I'm talking about like their cashier. You went up, you bought your groceries. Have a great day. And they say, you have a blessed one too. And you went on with your day without ever even thinking about it.
But Frosty, what about Dylan Mulvaney? We have to talk about Dylan Mulvaney, please.
No, we don't. Sometimes you can look at a group of people and go, nah, that's a little insane over there. Yeah. I'm gonna keep going this way where everything makes sense in my life, and you just keep going that way. All right, that's fine.
And you got to also recognize that just because some of these people have now had the ability to afford, prepping up their beard, so it's a little clean and kempt, putting on a little suit and sitting behind a desk in front of some sort of like green screened CGI background, doesn't mean that they are not still the musty dreg that they have always been, who says these things and promotes everyone else saying these things and wants people to say that shit in public to people for no reason whatsoever.
True.
Other than just being like salty about stupid shit, I guess. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. People are going to be salty all the time. People are going to make decisions all the time. But if you are someone who's operating at a higher frequency and you have this thing called common sense, like I'm not trying to make this an ego thing where I'm saying, you got to be big brain, you got to be smart. This is not some stupid Rick and Morty fan cast, all right? I'm just asking you to have a little bit of common sense. Sometimes when you see someone going, I'm saying something stupid and inflammatory, and it's clear that this is a person that doesn't want to be reached or learn, it is okay for you to do this. It's okay. You're listening. You turn your headphones up. I'm sorry. What did you say? Is that what you mean? And then you get the concise portion of their argument, and it's something that's just asinine and is either in some way sexist, ableist, racist, and you can see that they are tripling down on this. You always have the option to weigh, I care about this person and I want them to do better. And then you go into your explanation. You can test your theory. You can be like, you know what? Let me hear them out. Let me see what they have to say. And then you can test it through your real life brain, not through some online culture BS on Reddit. I'm talking about measuring it through karma. I'm talking about actually using critical thinking. And I'm like, no, this is stupid. And you can deconstruct the argument. Fine, fair, great. Or if you could tell this is someone who's just, oh, you're just dumb, you always have the ability to do this. You have a great one. And walk away. You have that option. There are some people who don't want to be saved. There are some people who are just like, nah, this is just the way I feel. And it's okay to leave those people in the rearview mirror, adjust it, and skedaddle. It's okay. You can't help everybody. Everybody can't get on the boat. And that's fine. Some people will say things that are just factually incorrect. Just like mad wrong. Both on the left and the right. They'll just say some things that are just blatant lies. Flubbed numbers, you name it, they'll regurgitate it because someone I saw with a lot of followers said that thing and it coincides with my agenda. So I'm just going to keep regurgitating it. And then when you correct them on it and they say, well, I don't believe in those sources. I believe in Twitter user number 5. At that point, take off the headphones and leave. Because you're not having a constructive moment. You're having someone who's got their head in the sand and just wants to be loud and will perceive the fact that you left. They care more about, see, I stuck to my guns and I won, than they care about actually being educated about any piece of subject matter that could lie within whatever zeitgeist that you're talking about at that time. But there's a whole thing I want to deconstruct that's going to come after this. So if you want to close this topic out, please, by all means, because you know what I'm about to talk about next.
I mean, yeah, I have nothing more to say about this. All right, look, all I'm saying is that moment, that I will gladly take moments like that any day over staying inside, just tweeting stupid shit or like arguing with people over nonsense, the ethical, moral dilemmas that aren't real. If you go outside and you see moments like that, you realize that everybody just wants to live and, enjoy themselves. That's it.
It's a fairly simple pursuit of happiness. But here's what I want to talk about. This one's strictly for the fellas. It's for anybody, but I'm strictly talking to the fellas. Because there is a situation that has happened not once, not twice, not thrice, but about 6 or 7 times within my couple of circles of friends that I do have. And it's something that I've addressed behind the scenes, but I want to address publicly. I'm not going to say your names. Y'all know who you are. Most of y'all have already been talked to. And those who haven't been talked to, you will get a talking to. So make sure you pencil in that appointment. I am tired of the following interaction that is happening within some of my friendships. I'm playing a game, whether it be Overwatch, Fall Guys, whether it be Dead by Daylight, or perhaps even Apex Legends, and I'm playing, enjoying myself, playing with some of the homies, and then all of a sudden, one of my woman friends says, hey, can I join you guys? And I would love to always say, of course, come on down, and it'd be easy. We all playing, having a great time, but I'm a little bit hesitant to do that, because I have to warn people, like, hey, some of the people that are around are weird, but we don't know that they're weird. I can assume that they might be weird, but they're always around dudes, so I can't say whether they're weird or not, because there's no interaction that I've seen that they've had.
You're scaring all the maidens. All right?
Scaring
all the maidens.
Oh, trust me, they need to be scared, because some of these folks is weird. Weird with a capital W. And that's the only capital W that's in their vicinity or visual cone, like that field of vision. That's the only W they can see is the capital W and weird. Now, the reason why I say this is because this has happened 6 or 7 times now within the past year or so. I'll add them. We'll come in. They'll have a great time. We're all chopping it up, having a great time, whatever. The play session ends. The woman and one of these dudes will be like, oh, well, you were cool. I'll add you on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Then a couple months go by. I get a DM saying, Frosty, can you help me? And I'm like, oh, yeah, what's going on? And then she has to now tell me that the person they've talked to 2 or 3 times total in 5 or 6 months is now professing their love to them and how much they need them. And if they don't love them, who will? And it's like, brother man from the 5th floor, shut up, man. You're weird. And not only are you weird, you're making our friendships groups look bad. And we got to oust you. Because first of all, we got to tell you, hey, brother, I don't know what you thought this was. Maybe you're not aware. Maybe this part of your brain, maybe it's not throbbing. Maybe you smooth brained and you just shooting your shot from the heavens. And maybe you just don't understand that some of these folks have other things going on. But you can't have hi, how you doing, couple games of Overwatch, and then have basically you professing their love. It's not a pathway to success in any way, shape, form, reality, plane of existence, whatever. And look, I'm not saying that you can't foster a relationship through the camaraderie of esports or playing video games with each other. We've seen plenty of these happy stories of 2 gamers, star-crossed, long distance, play a game for years together, coming together in holy matrimony and love. Hell, some of them even do this whole role play thing where they have in-game marriages that blossom into real life marriages, and it's fine. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking about someone just sitting down and being like, hey, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, yep, I got the Farah. Can you help me? I just need a little bit of healing. Appreciate that. And that's about the extent of your conversation. Then a couple of hellos, how are you? What did you do today? And then you go, all right, well, it's time for me to whip out the penis. All right. Excuse me, ma'am. Would you suck this? What? Huh? You're skipping some hurdles there, my G. That's not how you do it. That's sinful.
There, ma'am. We've been talking for a week now, and we've been playing a lot of Overwatch games together, and I just wanted to know, why don't you love me yet?
You see, that is stranger danger. So
I feel like I've grown so close to you, and I just want to know, why don't you love me yet? Because I love you.
And it's look, just because somebody took the time to say hello and was nice to you doesn't mean they want to give you fellatio, all right? I just want you to know that. Because if that was the case, then sorry, Mr. Fraudulence, but we would have to be using that couch back there because I'm nice to you. And last, I don't think your butt is on my conquest list. I'm sorry, brother.
No, it's not.
Nah, it
will never be.
Because apparently,
I established boundaries, and that's it. See, we don't have to have this conversation anymore.
Because being nice is apparently a gateway drug to laying some pipe, which, hey, apparently that's all you got to be is nice. And then apparently the other party is just forced to accept your love, which is not. No one's obligated to love you. I just want you to know that no one's obligated to be your friend. Hell, people aren't even obligated to like you. There are some people who are not even going to like you just because your voice hits a certain frequency that irritates their ears. There are going to be some people who don't like you because, for whatever reason, what's that? You have a picture of Dark Magician Girl in your background. Ugh. What a loser. Like, there's people who are going to do that. There are some people who are never going to allow you to be the person that pleases them, whether it's through content, whether it's through relationships, or any other path to happiness that you can possibly even construct in your mind. I'm telling you right now, no one's entitled to anyone else's time. All right. Hell, you're not even entitled to your own time, because some of y'all be zoning out and y'all be having these daydreams. Sometimes you're not even focused on yourself. But I digress. If you are going to be weird, I'm gonna have to call you out. I'm gonna have to take you aside, and if you cannot correct the behavior, we're just gonna have to. You guys seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Y'all know Jazz. Y'all know the heave ho. Oh, that's gonna have to be you until you can figure some things out on your own. Because I don't have time to be running a babysitting clinic, because I have better things to do with my time, even if it is play Overwatch. I know. Masochism has really set its course for me, huh? But I just wanted to get that out of the way, because it's one of those ridiculous things where it's like, this is stupid. This is dumb. I don't like this. It's a bit on the side of ridiculous, but it is what it is. But moving past that, is there anything that you want to say about strange dudes on the internet?
One thing, we have to teach. Okay, we have to teach mainly boys two things. One, rejection is not the end of the world, and it will happen. You can't treat it like it's the end of the world.
Hey, some people treat rejection like they just got the information that the second plane has hit the tower.
Exactly. You got to make sure that people understand how it works, that it will happen, and that it's going to be okay. You're not going to win them all.
Speaking of which, have you seen the TikTok about the sex draft?
You know what? I thought about making a video about that, but like that guy, I am convinced that guy is.
I thought he was taking the piss.
I'm pretty sure he's grifting,
but there are some people who genuinely propose that and think that's a good idea to cure the incel militia.
Oh yeah, those people don't even understand like the intricacies of the problem. Like, you can't sit here and say, yeah, let's assign them girlfriends, or let's assign them the sex havers or whatever, so that they can get laid and then they'll be happy. That's not, that'll make them happy momentarily, and then they'll realize, oh, this person doesn't like me, or like that. Oh, we only had sex once, I want to have sex again.
Forget about that. Forget about that. You know what's going to happen? Their other incel friend is going to get a baddie in their world, and they're going to get something that they perceive as mid. And now they mad. Well, how he got that? How he get the Enzo Ferrari and I got the Volvo?
I mean, let's not even talk about the fact that incels hate sex workers, but this particular thing,
no, they want government mandated sex work.
They want government mandated sex trafficking. They're like, let's get the women to just like be with them, regardless of whether or not the women are okay with this. And it's like, the point of sex work is so that
there's at least some side of consent,
Yeah, if he's so hard up, he can find a woman who's willing to do that with him if he pays a certain amount. All he has to do is come up with the money and pay. Period. Simple as that. And then he gets laid, and the woman gets paid, and the service is done. And that dude will probably not go home and type on a message board that he needs to min-max his looks. He doesn't need to looks max or jaw max or any of that crazy shit.
Okay, so what happens if the girl goes along with it? But this is just this hypothetical situation that this is something that they pass at some point, because we all know that the U.S. government loves taking away that bodily autonomy. But let's just say this is a thing that happens. Once again, big hypothetical. It's not on the table. It's not even something that's a proposition outside of crazy people on the internet. Just want to make sure I make that 100% clear. But in this world that they live in, what if like they whip it out and they're impotent, or they whip it out and they're just not good, or dare I say the woman isn't good? Like then, like what do you do then? Like
there you go.
Like
See,
she like she got paper shredder mouth, head game lack. She just starfishes. They not good. Now they mad. Or what if she like goes home and then it's like, oh my god, you won't believe the shift I had. This dude fucking sucks. And then he sees it. Then he gets mad about her talking about his whack dick game. Like there are so many variables that need to be considered before you say that this is even a good idea. It's not a good idea. Spoiler alert. It's a trash idea. It is a 2-pack of ass idea.
Now you understand. It's not going to solve the actual problems, because the cause of the problems isn't just these guys aren't having sex. It's much more than that.
These folks are not loved.
Yeah. There are like psychological things going on that need to be like rectified in the first place. And nobody's thinking about that. Nobody's thinking about what causes these people to not have a successful like dating life or whatever the fuck.
A lot of these people are envious of other people's happiness.
Yeah.
But you want to know what you want to know what's crazy though?
What?
So what about the folks on the right? Like on the right who would think like this? Now you may be saying, what do I mean by that? So you mean y'all telling me that y'all didn't want $1,200 stimulus checks because y'all didn't want handouts, get it from the bootstraps, get it out the mud, but y'all want government mandated pussy.
And you want to bail out the banks.
Like I just like you know what I mean? Like at least be consistent.
Exactly. Like the thing about it is this would be like, well, in their in like the conservative ideal, it would be like assigned marriages or something like that, you know, like, hey, this is your wife who is supposed to serve you or whatever the fuck, and then you know that involves
and that's a quick
wifely duty of
that's a quick way to do any percent speed runs to divorce.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The conservative way is a Handmaid's Tale. Like we all know it. Everybody says it like every other month when this sort of thing comes around. We all know it. Like that's the penultimate like thing that they would request if they're entertaining this kind of idea. But the fact is, whenever someone throws this out, they show that they don't like actually understand incels. They don't understand like what creates incels, any of that stuff, and they don't actually want to like help them. They just want to get people off their backs about, you know, the violence that happens when these people get enraged at the fact that like, you know, they can't do anything about their situation because when people try to help them, they refuse the help because of, you know, certain things that they've grown up believing that's preventing them from understanding that they need to be better to get what they want. So,
and here's the thing about being better. Remember what I said earlier about no one's obligated and no one's mandated, you know, to give you their time. There's something that is very important that I think some of you really need to hear. You don't want to hear it, but I got to say it. Just because you become a nicer person, just because you do better, doesn't mean that your ass still won't be alone. Trust me when I tell you, some of y'all are gonna be like, but I turned my life around. I stopped saying all this crazy rhetoric. I just started, you know, being a good person and treating everybody with respect. But sometimes your ass still alone, bro.
If you're truly a good person, you'll understand that you shouldn't be looking for someone to like you just because you're doing nice things. That the nice things, like the person is not a reward of your nice things. They're just someone that likes you and who you are. They're not like they're not the reward for defeating the final boss of life, you know?
Like, so some of y'all act like being nice. It's like your car salesman tactic of, well, right. If I'm nice long enough, she'll like me. And then the demon comes out and it's like, brother, stop. You're being dumb. And trust me, folks, ladies do it too. I'm just talking to the fellas right now because of the situation that has happened recently. But this is a general message. Like, there are definitely women who do this type of thing too, where y'all show one side of yourself, and as soon as the relationship starts, them fangs come out. Them fangs come out, and they're long. They on that Orochimaru nonsense, brother. It's not good. It's the last thing you want.
Yeah, usually when women are like guilty of doing things like this, it's because they also have the same kind of like mentality towards dating, that they were nice enough to the guys that they liked or whatever. Why is it that the guys don't like them? They're like, several things that create femcells also, but femcells do exist, and that is also a problem that has to be tackled in like a similar way. But it's less likely that women don't understand these concepts of relationships and sex and all that stuff is not like transactional. And if you have the mentality that it is like, that kind of like transactional thing, there are actual services that are meant to like, go along with that. Like, you can literally pay for someone to like you. Unfortunately, you can literally pay for someone to marry you. Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I know you've seen these. I'm sure if you're on TikTok or if you're on YouTube, I know you see these clips. They get tossed around all the time. But it's these people who have podcasts, much like our own. But they'll have women on there, and they'll say things like, "If you're a man who isn't cheating on your girl, that tells me everything I need to know about you, that you don't have any confidence because you don't think you can get away with it, or you don't think that you can get another girl." And I'm just sitting there like, let's just say you're someone who's doom scrolling through the internet because you're depressed, and this is the type of content that is always on your feed. Some of these folks are going to start believing that people really think like this as a whole, and that she's speaking for a large group of women. They're saying, yeah, see, I cheat because don't let the ideology of I cheat because I'm a man and that's what I'm supposed to do. Because, if I don't cheat, then I'm not a man. Because I saw a snippet the other day. Now you got dudes saying, "Hey man, I'm afraid of the cooch." Not gonna lie, the Clout.WAV is mad scary, man. Matter of fact, and then you had the other dude who's like, "Yeah, if you eat pussy, I already know that you're not a real man." Like, and it's like, it's like, yeah, anybody who eats cooch, you're actually homosexual, and I just want you to know that. And I'm like,
they're like, "Oh, it's kind of gross because like, it's just a slit and like babies come out of it and all this stuff." And I'm like, bro, you don't even understand the anatomy. but also it's just like, it's very telling when like dudes will go out of their way to be like, "I'd rather, suck this lighter, if it was a dick than eat pussy." And it's just like, you're right there. You're right there.
Oh, bro, bro, have you seen the one about the who would you rather sleep with? What was the question? Who would you rather sleep with?
Tate.
No, not that one.
Tate.
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
The question was, would you rather sleep with the oldest woman in the world or the most beautiful trans woman? That is what the question that was proposed. And you said, "I'm sorry, man, I got to go with the oldest woman in the world because I can't be gay, man. I just can't let that thing happen." I said, let's think about the oldest woman in the world. Do you know how old the oldest woman in the world is right now?
Like 200? No, not 200.
I was like 200. I said, sir?
No, I was making up a woman. I'm sorry. But like the actual oldest woman is like what, 100 and like 8?
Currently 115. Okay. Well, in the beginning of the year, it was a woman who was 118. She passed.
That's what I was thinking about. Okay.
I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen a picture of the Spanish woman. I believe her name is like Maria something, but I don't know if you've ever seen her. If you were to have any sort of intercourse with that woman, you're going to have to wake up the next day understanding that you're a murderer. That's number one. Number two, you make a clam chowder powder down there. Like she's going, like that pussy's spitting out anthrax. And number three, what I think is most importantly, have you seen the medical bills? Like, let's just say she lives. You try to do anything in that, but she's tearing her ACL. The meniscus is gone. her entire pelvis is about to just be completely imprinted into her rib cage. Like, this is not what you want, brother. I just don't feel like people thought enough about this question.
Look, man, the fact of the matter is,
she has 11 great grandchildren. She has 11 grandchildren and 13 great grandchildren. Damn, yep.
She lived a life of 115
years. Most people don't. Yeah. Some people don't even get a third of that.
So
that's tough.
Yeah, when it comes to how do I put this? You have to really like ask, why are you so afraid of people seeing you as gay?
Because people have social images that they think people care about. No one cares, bro. No one gives a flying fuck.
Like,
nobody cares.
We got to stop teaching people that being homosexual is like so terrible or whatever. And it's just,
bro, I don't care what your orientation. I really don't give a shit. There have been times where like I'll be talking to someone and they'll be like, "Did you know that I'm insert thing here?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I don't care. My penis isn't out, so I don't understand why you're even worried about that. So, like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?"
What I like to say is that like someone's sexuality shouldn't matter to anybody other than the people that they're having sex with. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be like, hey, hey, bro, are you gay? Like, just tell me. Like, you can tell. It's like we're not going to be romantically involved in any sort of way. So why would I be asking that question? Like, why would it even matter? It's not like it's like, oh shit, you're gay. Sorry. I can't speak to you anymore. You're actually not the person I thought you were. Isn't that the best line that you hear when someone's just like, well, you're not the person I thought you were? So, and
it's like, so were you thinking about me sexually? Anymore. Like, what are you? I'm confused on why that even matters. Because like at the end of the day, if every single one of my friends were homosexual, I'd be like, damn, more women for me, guys. Because ain't no one going to be shooting the shots at the same people I'm shooting shots at. I don't have to worry about that.
I think it's because people use their imaginations to like think of what this person is doing behind the scenes, and it's like it's annoying because it's because we have content out there that's a little too descriptive on the things that people could be doing if they're into certain if they have a certain sexuality.
Look, let me put it to you this way: I have a couple friends who are furries. I have never once. And I mean, not even once, sat down and said, I wonder if Jamie is thinking about fucking Wolf from Star Fox. That's not what?
I'm not gonna lie to you. If they're afraid, they probably told you once or twice, if they have that kind of fantasy. So you would know already.
If they told me, then hey, whatever. I'd be like, all right, that's weird, I guess. Anyways, but
that's
like
you, buddy. Anywho,
you think I'm sitting there at 3 a.m. after finishing editing a video or getting done with a late night workout and going, yeah, I bet you they're thinking about sucking wolf cock right about now. Like what? No. So I don't. Once again, even if they are, who cares?
To any of the weirdo semantic people, don't try and like bring up like pedophilia or the phebophilia or any of that weird shit and be like, but what if they're that? It's like those aren't sexualities. So those are not legal.
Those are, first of all, those are child abusers.
Yeah, anything involving non-legal things.
Like some people, because I know some people say, well, okay, well, what about people who are into like lollies and stuff like that? Technically, what they're doing isn't illegal, but it's definitely one of those things where I look at you and I go, "You're weird."
Yeah, you're that. Like, I'm watching
because it's like, okay, so what if an underage girl cosplays something from this genre? Then what? Like, you understand? Like, it's a little bit weird. Like when it's an animal, it's such a far-fetched thing that it's like, nah, yeah, I know that you're taking the piss on this because there's such thing as an anthropomorphic wolf walking around. Now, there are some people who think that they're wolves and they can have sex with their animals. No, those people also under the jail. Get them out of here. They're also animal abusers.
Yeah, jail, exactly.
But I'm talking about strictly fictional characters, and they're keeping it as fictional characters. I don't give a fuck. yank one out to fucking Revy from Black Lagoon. I really don't give a shit. Do you? Now, just don't do it around me where like I'm walking in and be like, hey man, have you seen my manga chapters? And next thing you know, you're over there like, hey!
Yeah, don't Louis C.K. me like that. Like, what the hell? It's like, come on, look at it. Look at it. Look at me right now. It was like, hey.
Oh, I was just giving your favorite character a baby shower. Don't worry. I was like, oh, brother, just get out of my house. Go to jail.
But
don't make me beat you up now. Like, but yeah, like once again, I do think that some people have done the horrid act of making their sexuality the entire foundation of their character as a human being. And those people are also on the exceptional level of the tier list of you're fucking weird. Especially because for some people, come on, Abdul, you know for a fact there's something that's all they talk about. That's it. That's all I'm talking about. That's
exactly what you're talking about. No, I'm letting you cook, man. Go ahead.
It's like every piece of their personality, whether it's online or offline, has to do with I like to gargle semen, and it's like, what? That is, have you done anything else? I like looking at Master Reagan from Mob Psycho 100. Okay. Well, Sailor Moon's breasts are so beautiful, and it's like that's it. That's all they have. That is the only thing that they've ever talked about. That's the only thing that they're an expert in. If you ask them to do anything that's even remotely close to being productive or just being, dare I say, a normal member, we don't even say one that produces, just a normal member of society, they can't do it because they can't function because they're too horny to do anything the fuck else. Those people, mad weird. Technically, what you're doing isn't illegal, but you got to understand that's not a person that can function, because that's like you can't have a talk about that. You try to talk about anything else, it somehow gets derailed into. But can he helicopter his dick though? Can he spread the cooch out and stick his entire head in it? Like, come on, like,
all right, horny jail. Stop, calm down. You know, it's as simple as that.
These people do it all the time, though, and they get mad when they be like, "But this is who I am," and it's like, yeah, you can do that in the privacy of your own home.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like, you know, they're not just their kinks, their sexuality, you know, whatever, but. For some reason, they feel like comfortable with that, and that's what they feel comfortable like connecting with people through. There are a plethora of reasons why. I'm not gonna even like go into all that, but like at the end of the day, that's not everything that they are. It's just someone like convinced them that's the only interesting aspect of them.
Yeah, and then they end up hyper fixating.
Yeah,
on that one personality trait.
You can help them realize that there's more to them than just their sexuality. But that's if you want to take on that labor, you know? It's as simple as that. If you don't want to deal with it, be like, look, this is too much for me.
Hey, take the headset off and walk away. We talked about it earlier.
Exactly. So what can you do? Anyways, as far as the incel thing goes, yeah, inceldom is a problem that has to be like approached, but we need to focus more on the actual solutions to it. Like, what is it? There's like a subreddit that's about people who are like people who are into the manosphere stuff, or the you know, red pill pickup PUA community like shit, and realize that it's all stupid and it's all dumb and it's not really going to get them like the happiness that they ultimately want. And those guys, like, you know, talk to each other and help each other like realize that stuff was not, you know, that stuff was not
conducive to success.
Yeah, it's not conducive to success. And so they need to, you know, see certain things and get that out of their mind so that they can focus on creating their actual happiness. Because like everyone needs to understand, Neil, God, I can never remember his last name, but the guy who wrote the game, he also wrote another book. He also came out and said that he regrets that book and everything that he did in there because it ruined his life. Like, he found a woman, he married a woman.
You talking about
this woman?
Neil Strauss. There you go.
Neil Strauss. Yeah. He loved this woman, but he continued to go out and be a man whore, and he fucked up his marriage. And that was it. Like you can't fix the problems that you created in that scenario. You know what I mean? Like his wife wasn't having it. He got a divorce. You know, his life went and he had to pick himself back up. It's as simple as that. Some dudes are fine living that life for forever. They want to be like the 60-year-old dude who's in the club trying to hit on like 22-year-olds and whatnot. Whatever, man. That's you. That's your life.
Not the. Hey, man, I keep getting
Everybody
older.
Has that uncle. Everybody has that uncle.
They stay the same.
Look, everybody has that uncle. If that's the life you want to live, bro. You will deal with the repercussions of that, all right? But like for most people,
as everybody is of age and they're all consenting, go nuts, brother.
Yeah. You know, some people just want the one, or they want something, you know, they want the 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then they'll be fine. You know, most of these dudes who are like, you know, feeling lonely and down on themselves, they just want to be appreciated. So, yeah, we as a society just need to teach people like it's not just women who want to get complimented, who want to, you know, be reassured that the other person is into them and stuff like that. You know, men want that, too. Everybody wants that. So just make sure that like if you're with someone that you remind them that you do still like them, that you do still care. And like you don't have to say it, you can also show it in various ways. You know, don't show them that, you know, you don't like them and you'd rather like disappear off the face of the planet instead of like have a conversation with them, you know? Like, don't do anything like that because that'll fuck people up in the head a lot. So, and then they'll become like one of those weirdo, like, this is my Joker moment. And we don't need more of those.
Not the Joker moment, brother. Please, no. That's like the top 5 last things that we need, folks.
Exactly.
Can't you motherfuckers take anything serious for once? Everybody doesn't need a goddamn Joker arc.
Joker 2, the musical, coming out soon.
Hey, man, we're not even going to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about that.
I don't want to either, bro.
The first movie, I'll admit, the first movie was actually kind of fire. Now, it wasn't this deep political thing that I think everybody wants to make it as. Because some people were acting like, don't let your friends see it. It's a gateway drug to being an incel. And it's like, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. But yeah, Lady Gaga being in the new one and it being like a musical, that makes me so fearful for many reasons. But hey, maybe it'll be great.
Hey,
maybe it'll be like A Star Is Born.
I'm not necessarily a fan of musicals myself, so you know, more power to him for having the courage to actually do something that's kind of wacky and follow through with it. Because I do think it fits for Harley Quinn and the Joker. Just be like, yeah, you thought you were getting a regular ass movie, but nope, musical. So once again, I like it when movies at least play around with the idea of doing things different, because it's definitely an unconventional sequel. Because for all intents and purposes, it may not even technically be falling into the same genre as its predecessor, but, you know, at least there's that. But speaking of the DC universe, that Suicide Squad game, buddy, you told me that it got delayed. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier on this podcast, so I'm going to keep it very brief. I just don't understand why everybody has to be a generic third-person shooter character, because you have Captain Boomerang, and that man's not throwing boomerangs in the gameplay that we saw. And
hey, man, have you played this video game called Destiny?
Yeah, I have.
Like the sequel, Destiny 2.
I have seen plenty of my friends play it. Cold Soul Cast, who's in the chat right now, Destiny streams at least 3 times a week.
Wouldn't it be amazing if we made Destiny with DC characters?
No, it would not.
And we put in the movement mechanics of Sunset Overdrive. Wouldn't that be great? That would be such a fun experience. And we put in like the battle pass of like, I don't know, Fortnite, Anthem.
These things would be good if the characters that I played as had the characters' persona not only exemplified through their voice actors and animations, but through the actual gameplay. Like,
nah, man. You remember the Avengers game? Nah, man. That's what was wrong with that game.
No, you remember Superman 64? You like, oh man, I'm about to be Superman. I'm about to box, and then you flew through some rings. Like, no. I bought this to play Superman 64. I did not buy this to play a Knights beta. Shout outs to Knights, by the way, but that's not what we're here for.
Look, man.
Like, you got to leave a good first impression, and that game did everything but.
Everything leading up to that game was like, oh, this could not go wrong. It's made by Rocksteady. It's going to be in the same universe as the Arkham games.
we thought this was going to be a guaranteed let them cook.
Yeah, and then you saw the actual gameplay, and it was just like, what is this? Like, why is everybody shooting? Wait, why are they're sliding and flying in the air and all this stuff? Like, what is this? A battle pass? Huh? The more you hear about this game and what it's going to be like and the systems that are going to be in place, the less you want to buy it. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it, including the devs. And it's getting delayed, not to like rework the game itself, because they can't do that. It's too late. They put together this system. It's taken them years to put together this system, so they can't undo that. They can't undo the part that's bad about the game, but they're going to do as much as they possibly can, and try to take out some of the like more the looter shooter-esque parts of it. But
all right, so you want to know something? You want to know something that made me like real sad in that trailer?
What?
Well, in the little gameplay exhibition or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like all the characters, for the most part, from what we saw. Now, granted, they didn't show us everything. They all look like they're slight variations of each other, because like they all have some variation of fly or grapple, and they're all using like guns and things of that nature. And I just want you to understand something that really like tilts me about that. If you told me I get to play as King Shark, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, and then you told me, oh yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Just check this out. You're playing Deadshot. You're zipping around through the air. You pull out the AK-47. You letting that thing sing. You letting the chopper go. You pull out the sniper rifle, the marksman, taking out enemies from long range feels great. You feel like a true marksman. You can't miss. All right, how'd I play as King Shark? All right, so King Shark, you're zipping around through the air. You're grappling around. You pull out the AK-47 and you're letting that chopper sing. You pull out the marksman rifle, a little bit of upgrades. You're feeling like a true sniper. Oh no, you're just describing Deadshot again. No, I'm describing King Shark. Oh, okay, what about Captain Boomerang? All right, so get this, right? You're zipping around, flying through the air. You're grappling around the city for easy map traversal. Then you pull out that chopper and you're letting that thing sing. Like no, you can't do that. That's dumb. That's ridiculously dumb. That is a gross misuse of resources and the IP as a whole. That's dumb. How do you have King Shark and you don't show me this man hitting the big lunge command grab, having a finisher where he goes and just like shreds somebody's body because he's a shark? What does King Shark need a AK-47 for? What does he need a Magnum for? What does he need a Deagle for, brother? If King Shark is walking around with a sawed-off or a blade, it's like, brother, if you got to get close to him anyway, why aren't you just eating him? This is dumb. This is dumb. This is stupid. Harley Quinn should have more like a gymnast flow than everybody. Everybody else shouldn't. Why is King Shark acrobatic in the air? I'm sorry. It's just one of those things where it's like, no, this is dumb. I really need you to go back to the drawing board. Now, granted, it was delayed. Maybe they're gonna chop something up, but I think it's way past the prime of you cooked it too far. Now you can't save it. The dish is done.
Yeah. I mean, this was in development for years, and it was delayed because of COVID, I believe. So they had this like thought of making this looter shooter or whatever. Probably around the same time, like the big like Destiny 2 update expansion was coming out, and like other looter shooters were coming out, and that was going to be the big thing. That's what the gamers wanted. And then we got things like Anthem and God, there was another one that came out that I'd forgotten, but like, we got all those games that came out, and then we also got the Avengers game, and everyone was like, "Stop doing this! Like, can you just give us like a video game, please?" And they're like, "But this is what you wanted. You wanted like incentive to continue playing the game. Well, you guys like Fortnite, so we put in that battle pass thing so that you could continue playing the game for years and years to come. You shoot things, you can move around. Isn't that what you guys like?" It's like,
now
you could be different.
Now, one thing I will say though, a lot of people may be saying, "Oh man, why are you being so upset about the game? You think the game will suck?" And I said, "No, I don't think that from what we saw, I don't think the game is going to suck in the way as like, oh, it's unpolished. I think what they were going to give you was going to be a real polished system." All right, this is just me speaking. This is the Frosty speaking. I think it's going to be a real polished system, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's so homogenous that it's going to lose the charm of you even having multiple characters to even play from. You should not be in the looking down the barrel of the gun of Gotham Knights had better translations of the characters to the gameplay. Rocksteady should never find themselves behind that shotgun looking them dead in the face. That's not good. Although I do think the writing will probably actually be kind of godlike. I'm pretty sure if the gameplay does suck, just go ahead and watch the cutscene movie that someone's going to upload at like ass o'clock in the morning on launch day.
I mean, I don't even think the story is going to be that great because like you see all that shit with the Flash that was shown in the trailers where he's just sitting there reading the newspaper. Yeah, and like they're all possessed by Brainiac, which that's kind of a whack storyline to be honest. Like El Brainiac.
What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about, man? They did it in the Justice League cartoon. They did it in Injustice. The video game. Come on, man, it's fine.
Look, make a Dark Side story.
Shout out Brainiac.
Also, if you want to, I don't know, the thought process of being like, yeah, let's get the Suicide Squad to go against the Justice League. If you want to make up some sort of storyline where for some reason they're fighting each other, make it a situation where the Suicide Squad is escaping and the Justice League is trying to capture them. Not
look, I'll do you one better. If you really want to have a great story and like truly do something, and this is something I've always had a problem with when it comes to like movies as well. In those trailers, if Batman was a real human being in this world, Batman couldn't have gotten the secret that Brainiac was going to be our big bad out of me. The way I would have played it was what you said. When the game released, then it's a Brainiac plot. For as of right now, it's just a Suicide Squad running from the Justice League.
But nah, man, all the comic book fans are going to be like, but why would they be fighting the Justice League? Because, the very first trailer like showed, that the Suicide Squad is being paid or like being hired to fight the Justice League. So it was like, okay, it has to be Brainiac. It can't be anyone else.
You could. No, once again, you could do that.
I mean, you could, but
because you could have Amanda Waller be like, I think it's time that there's a threat that, is just too insurmountable. And we're going to need somebody who's willing to get their hands dirty. And boom, a la the Suicide Squad. They pop in. And then you could say, I don't trust the Justice League. They have a giant death satellite in the air. And if they point it the wrong way, we're toast. And I'm not having it. And then boom, it works with Amanda Waller's character. Suicide Squad has a motivation. Then you can have just a little, you even just play that little cutscene where Batman lands. And like it's ambiguous. Did he throw him down? You don't know. Cut the black. You could have. There's so many things you could have done. But now that we know it's just another Brainiac plot, when Injustice 2 came out, like what, 6 years ago now? Wasn't that long ago? The last big DC game that a lot of people have played was a Brainiac plot, and now we're just doing it again with extra steps. I don't know.
Look, man.
I feel like you're shortchanging yourself there, Rocksteady. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, as far as that goes, but hey, they did, introduce that Wonder Woman is going to be not controlled by Brainiac, and she's going to be helping them. So she's not going to be playable, but like
that's what I'm saying. I was like, the one character that ain't gonna have guns is the one character you didn't make playable. Come on, man.
No, man, you gotta wait for her game that's gonna have the Nemesis system.
But wait, hold on. Rocksteady, if you do this, we'll take back a lot of things we said. If when we beat up Justice League members and they get freed, if they become playable and they're not using guns, hey, I'll shut the fuck up. That's all you gotta do.
I'm not gonna lie, I won't, because I've seen what the UI is supposed to look like for.
Oh no, the UI looks very generic for a looter shooter. Like it looks very homogenous to what you've seen from even games like fucking Anthem and fucking Godfall, brother. Like, do y'all remember that game?
They're building this game to be like a grind. And whenever, like, for some reason, when devs build these games to be like a grind fest, it's not made to be fun. It's made to be like arduous.
It's made for you to open your wallet so you can circumvent some of the grinding, because Rocksteady need money too.
It's made for you to waste your time. And like, if you're going to do something like that, at least adopt the Destiny, Monster Hunter, style of things where it's like, okay, so you're doing all of the boss battles and all the the raids and all that stuff to get the loot. You're trying to get the loot, and then you're going to go back through the boss battles and things with your new loot to get more loot. So see a circle. You're fighting the monsters to get the tools that you need to create the gear to fight more monsters. The circle.
The circle of life.
That works for some people. As we've seen, it works for a lot of people. They're like, hey, this loot is cool. I want some more. And so I'll keep playing. And that's it. But instead, they're doing the most obvious, like, don't you guys want big numbers? All right, well, then you'll be playing for a while. But, you'll be shooting a lot of things. Isn't that fun? It's like, no. Especially, it looks like
especially if I'm only shooting the same like 8 enemy types over and over and over and over and over, and then I got to run the same raid over and over and over and over and over again, because we've seen plenty of games that have big maps, but it's really only like in 4 quadrants, maybe a little fifth part in the little center there, where all the action is predominantly taking place, and it's like really special events and, let's be honest, mini game level, like side stories where the action is placed in, somewhere out, scattering throughout the city and the map. I'm not saying that's what this game is going to have, but let us keep our expectations in check, because we have seen games that do that very thing. Also, if they're delaying it, they're risking the chance of coming out anywhere near Spider-Man 2. And I don't think that's what you want. Because Spider-Man 2 drops like September?
I believe so.
Actually, hold on. If it's dropping out then, let me see when this is dropping. Oh yeah, Spider-Verse 2 is dropping in June. So yeah, y'all kind of cooked. Y'all kind of cooked.
Spider-Verse or Spider-Man? The Spider-Man game, or are you talking about Spider-Verse the movie?
No, Spider-Verse the movie comes out in June. Spider-Man 2 the game comes out in September.
Wait, what? I thought Spider-Verse got delayed.
Yeah, it comes out in June now. It was supposed to come out in April.
December of last year.
It was December of last year. Then they moved it to April, and then they moved it to June. So yeah, and the movie or the game is coming out in September, allegedly. That still isn't a hard confirm, but they basically have everything points to a September release. I'll say that much.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're delaying this game, we're probably looking at like August, something like that. I'm just saying, you want to release a superhero game with a big map, you got stiff competition in that entire, it's fine. I'm sure Rocksteady knows what they're doing. Now, Warner Brothers, we know they don't know what they do. as a whole, they're it's just unfortunate that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is going to be like the last big project that Kevin Conroy's like namesake and voice is going to be associated with. That's the only downer for me, but alas, we move past that to say games, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you play them, sometimes you get played. Sometimes.
What's the next like big game that's coming out? Final Fantasy 16. Never mind. I know.
I was gonna be like Final Fantasy, like you know.
The reason I have to buy a PS5.
Because other than that, Dead Island 2 is finally coming out. That's something. Resident Evil 4 remake comes out tomorrow.
It sure do.
I think the Jedi Survivor, the second Star Wars Jedi game, comes out this year.
Yeah, it does.
Then you have Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, Tears of the Kingdom for Zelda. Yeah, I think. Wait, hold on. They were making like an Alan Wake game. Is there any news on that?
No. But yeah, no, there isn't really much news on that Alan Wake sequel.
All right, well, that's all I know for as far as like big Mondo, everybody's going to be interested day one releases. Because Tekken 8 probably isn't coming out till next year, if I had to guess.
Oh, Alan Wake 2 definitely out this year, but not the Max Payne remakes. They're remaking Max Payne.
Is Max Payne?
Oh, they're remaking 1 and 2?
Are they? Is that even going to translate? What? You know what? Never mind. I liked Max Payne, so fuck it. I'll buy it.
You know, those are in the same universe.
Wait, Control, Alan Wake, and Max Payne are in the same universe.
Oh, yeah. What is it? Max Payne is a story in the Alan Wake universe. Like it's like a story that someone wrote in the Alan Wake universe, and the DLC, the last DLC that came out for Control, proved that Alan Wake is like a separate what is it? It's like a separate like universe or a separate like world that's like close to the Control universe, and so she like basically like went into the Alan Wake universe like towards the end of it.
Okay, well then let me ask you this, right? What about Quantum Break and Death Rally? Are those
who? We don't remember those. Sorry, those are not.
Okay, understandable.
They're not applicable here.
That's understandable. You have a great day. You have a great day. That's a GG shake your hand moment.
Sorry, it's called 3D Realms. Only 3 titles are allowed in this universe here.
But anyways, I suppose at this point we would say, as always, the internet was what?
A mistake.
And we will catch you guys next week on the YouTube channel, which we'll be posting on Twitter. We might even make a Clout.WAV specific YouTube or Twitter channel as well, so you guys can make sure you never miss out on the exciting content we plan on bringing you. Yeah, I even gave you a toothy smile. Anyways, y'all take care. Y'all be safe. Be courteous as always. And we will catch y'all on the next one. Take care, viewers. Do.